Hi everyone, my name is Hushin Gigi and I'm a certified Salesforce admin. Today I wanted to show you a few things that I faced, errors, and how to make sure that you can make sure the quality of the data while importing the data to Salesforce. So let's see. First thing is deduplicating the data. We have to make sure that you delete the duplicates in order to have a pure good data in your Salesforce platform. And I always use the Excel for my data manipulation. And let's see how I do the data deduplicating. So first thing I do is by going to data, there is an option to deduplicate, removing the duplicate, this one. So click on that and you can select all the fields and click OK. And it will remove the duplicates, and you can see here 10 duplicate values found and removed. And the other way I do is sometimes, even though not all the fields are same, but maybe there are duplicates, same person. So insert in here I will insert a column, name it as full name, and I will write this formula here, concatenate all these text, this one and comma this one, and this will combine all the cell values without a space, and we don't require at this moment the space. We are just going to find out whether there is any duplicates. And what I will do is I'll go home and go to the home page, and then condition formatting, highlight the duplicate values for this column. And what this will do is it will highlight it with the color. So let me show you how that looks. It will highlight like this. So if there is any duplicate value, it will highlight. And how I find out is I'll filter by color and it will show which are the duplicates. And I usually just write a formula to find out which cell has a difference, to make sure the data which data I want to keep. And I will always confirm it with the client, mentioning where the data has gone wrong or where the data is different, and what file they want to keep, what record they want to keep. Like this here, it's false because this data is different from this one. So that's how I do the deduplicating. So let's see what's the next point. Avoiding commas in data. So when we upload the files, we upload it as a CSV file, and because we upload it as a CSV file, we need to make sure there is no commas, or what happens is it will be considered as a different data. Like if in this case 1234, South Street, it will consider 123 as one data and South Street as another data, because comma is what separates the values. If you want to still use the comma, like in the address, if you want to keep it, you have to make sure it is enclosed in quotes. That's one way to make sure that this data remains in the same field by enclosing it in quotes. And how I do that, I will show you here in this data. You can see this field has a comma in it. So first I will write the formula, that's search. What I want to search is comma, if in which cell, this cell, and starting from the first one. If it is throwing an error, that means it doesn't have a comma in it. So what I will do is, if it is an error, if error, give me the value 0. And now I haven't got the results that I want. So what I will do here, if this is greater than 0, then I want to enclose them in the quotes. So for that, I put the quotes in the first cell and then combine it. So what I can do is this cell and this one and so here I don't want the H1 to change, because if you drag, what will happen is it will take H2, H3 like that. It increments. So in order to avoid that, I have to add a $sign so that it will remain the same H1, because I want the quotes to be added. So I will add the $sign to this value. And if it is not greater than 0, that means it's doesn't have comma. I need this value to be returned. So now the formula will give you this result. So now you can see that whatever values had the comma is enclosed in quotes, and you can upload this data and the value will remain still in the same field. So that's how I did that. So let's see next. What's the next point? Assigning the owner ID and record ID. So this is very important, because when you are uploading the data, you will become the owner of that particular record. But you would want in the organization, whoever is handling that person's ID to be there. So make sure you get those information and you assign the proper owner ID to the record, so that you don't have to download it again and reassign and things like that. So to avoid those kind of things, you can get those information prior and assign the owner ID. And record ID, if you don't put those record ID, it will be assigned with the default record ID. So it's better to assign the owner ID and record ID and uploading those information prior. What's the next thing? The next one is turning off the validation rules. So when you, if you are putting the new org, like if you're updating the data for the new org, they might be having certain old data which they didn't follow the validation rules. So, but still you want that data to be there in the system for the reporting purpose and to go back and verify and all those things. So in those cases, you might want to turn off the validation rule and upload the data and then turn back it on, and make sure to turn it back on, because those validation rules are needed for the new data which is going to come in. And if at all any of the employees go back and try to edit those data again, then the validation rule will trigger and it will show them the error and they will have to update it based on the validation rule. So otherwise it just remains there for the reporting purpose. So that is something that you can remember. You can turn off the validation rule, upload the data, and then turn it back on. The next one is easier field mapping. So when you are uploading the data, if the field names, like how the column names are here, if it is matching exactly what the field names are there in the Salesforce, it is easier to map because it just automatically maps it. So it's much easier if you have it. So that's one tip. I will say that if you can make all the headings the same as in the Salesforce platform, it will be easy for you. Next is mass delete option. There is an option in Salesforce platform where you can mass delete the records. I will show you at the end of this video how to do that. That's one thing which was helpful for me, because while I always do in Salesforce in the sandbox, any kind of things what I do, I first try in the sandbox. So when I uploaded the data, there were certain errors that I was facing, so I wanted to delete those files. So I went ahead and used the mass delete option to delete all the records that I did upload and then try with the new updated file. So this will be a good useful tool when you are doing such things. So mass delete option is something you can remember, but do remember there is an option where you can click the permanent delete and you will permanently delete that from the system. Another error that I faced was this error. I tried to recreate it in my dev org, but I couldn't. Maybe the nonprofit has a lot of Apex code that runs at the background, and that's why this was triggering, because it was not letting me upload my data. And I didn't know that at that time. I didn't know that data loader has an option to reduce the batch size. Because I was unaware of it, I went ahead and divided the data into multiple files and uploaded it. But I want to show you how you can divide the data and upload without dividing that late data. You can upload the file. So let me go ahead and show you how you can do everything in data loader. So in data loader, first of all, I want to I'm going to connect the first of all, I'm connecting it to the org. So login, connect, allow. I'm already logged in, so that's why. Otherwise, you'll have to log in. Now my data loader and the org is connected. So let me show you how I can do the batch size settings, change the batch size settings. So here in the settings, if you go, you can see the batch size. By default, it is 200, but you can change this value. So you can try with 100, and if it is not still letting you upload the data and you're still getting the error, you can still reduce the batch size and try uploading that. So it's very good way. You don't have to you don't have to divide the data. Instead, you can just change the batch size here, and you can completely upload the data, and it will just change the batch size by itself and upload the data. So for example, I can change it to 50, no, 100 here. Let me change it 100 here and click OK. And let me try to insert the file here. Protection, continue. And login successful. Next, I will choose the object contact and browse for the data. And next, you can see the batch size has changed to 100. So you can reduce that and do it. So that way it will help to avoid all the errors. And you can see here already the data is mapped because I have the same name here. If you don't have, if you see something is not correct or something, you can change it. You can I don't find the middle initial here, so that's why I'm not mapping it. Otherwise, say for example, if you don't find it like last name properly assigned, you can go here, find the name here, and you can just drag and drop it like this. And then you click. You can save the file also, like save the mapping also, and so that you can reuse it later. You can click next and finish. Yes. And it will upload all the data. Meantime, I can show you how the mass delete option works. So if I go to the settings and search for mass delete, you can see mass delete option record here, and I can choose mass delete contact, and I can choose, like, I wanted to delete all the files that I uploaded today. So create a date equals today's date, that's 04/11/2023. Search for the files. It will show all the files here, and I click all. This is coming because I just uploaded. You can see 428 files were successfully uploaded. Okay, so you can choose them, and you can permanently delete them from the system. It will not appear in the recycle bin. So if you click this, it will be permanently deleted. So click delete, and it's deleted. So now this, it's 250 was shown earlier. Now the rest of the document, the rest of the records. So select again, delete. So now you can see there is no files. I deleted all the 428 files that I had. I deleted all of them. So this is what I wanted to share with you. And if you have any other things that you have faced, just let me know in the comments. That will be helpful for me in the future. Thank you for watching.